Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gamer Time Podcast, and this is the very first episode of our NFL draft coverage. And it's going to be a good one as we cover over the next 8-9 weeks of each positional category, I guess. Not every single all 22 positions, but every category of positions. And we're starting it off with the safeties and the cornerbacks. First of all, my name is Matt Kelly. Big Al Mocious. What's going on?
Not much, Matt. Welcome back, guys. Great to be here and ready to provide you some great college material and just be excited for what's to come. So just hang on to your seats, get your popcorn ready, just enjoy the show, baby.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's kick it off with Asante Samuel Jr., son of course, Asante Samuel, a former Philly Eagle, I think he was a Raider. I think he's a couple of teams, bounced
I
around a
think
little bit.
Falcons too.
Falcons, okay. Had a decent career. He was more of a ball hawk. I think he kind of sacrificed giving up a big play if he would get an interception. Jump a lot of routes kind of guy. Um, Now his son on the smaller side, so it would be interesting to see how he would fare up against those big 6'4", 6'5" wide receivers in the NFL, guys like Julio Jones and the Megatrons of the world, so to speak. Um, what's your take on this kid? Do you think he can match up? What do you think?
Matt, with Asante Samuel, just from what I've seen, yeah, as you said, he lacks the size. So my guess, if he's when he gets drafted, I'm gonna say somewhere in the second round, maybe late first, early second. But I'd say he's got the speed to make up for the lack of size. So I think you could play him in the corner or the slot position and have him cover the faster guys. And obviously you were mentioning like the son of Asante Samuel, like so I think he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder there. Just kind of playing under his dad's wing and learning a lot from him, I'm sure. So I think he's gonna be better than people expect.
If you would had to predict where he falls in this year's draft, what would be around guess that you would pick him?
Um, I'll go. I'm gonna say he drops I'd say early to middle second round.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I was doing my homework for this, podcast. I looked up a couple of mock drafts, see what other people thought, and I looked up statistics and different things like that. And with the couple of mock drafts that I saw, I actually didn't see his name at all. Maybe I just missed it. I don't know, but I think with the size, it's really going to hurt him. Not that he can't get the job done, but I just think when teams are evaluating him, I think that's going to be a glaring issue that they see. No length. I mean, he could be quick, but maybe he can cover the slot, things like that. But um, I was actually thinking more like fourth, fifth round. Um, I
Okay.
think just because of that size, but who knows? We'll see. It could be totally wrong. So uh,
Right.
now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to kick off a portion of the show that is brand new. Well, it's not brand new. We introduced it last week, and that is the little video segment. Okay, so sit back, relax, and let's take a look at Asante Samuel Jr.
Sprint right for Sims. Looking downfield, and it is intercepted. That is Asante Samuel Jr. And he's got a blocker in front, but he's dragged down that time by Jack DeFore, the senior lineman. But mistake number one for the freshman quarterback Sims.
Kung Fu on the neck.
Letter of the law. Foul against Florida State.
This a long pass down the seam, intercepted in the secondary near the 10-yard line. Asante Samuel Jr.
And he is back in a tailback to start. As Williams goes play action on first down, and that is a first down hook up and a pile drive tackle. KJ Osborne thrown to the deck by Asante Samuel. On the ground. Looking to throw to his left. Staying on his feet. Fires. And intercepted. Intercepted by FSU. Picked off by Asante Samuel. And an early mistake. And FSU capitalizes. First and 20. Hoisting one is Lawrence. Adjusting to it is Higgins. And it's broken up.
There's Asante Samuel again. He's been matched up a few different times. Made some nice plays in some one-on-one situations.
The play caller for Georgia Tech. Sims. That is intercepted. And once again, it's Asante Samuel Jr. Can you believe this? 2 times Jeff Sims brings Georgia Tech down the field in this first half, and 2 times Asante Samuel Jr. picks them off.
So far, only one of those carries for negative yardage today. And here is the pitch to Dillon, and cut down for a second negative yardage play.
Asante Samuel coming off the edge. And
second and 14. Sims, near side, denied. And guess who? Asante Samuel Jr.
Broken up by Safties Jr.
Another lob for Cager. Broken up.
They did not do a good job last year of getting turnovers on their defense. They have been doing a fantastic job in this second half of getting the ball back in their offense's hands.
Evans flushed out of the pocket, finds a receiver open near the first down marker, brought down to the ground by Asante Samuel.
Panthers want to run the ball. They're 13th in the league, 93rd nationally, at under 100 yards a game. They'll flip it to Turner on the first play. The ball got knocked away and loose around the 18. And
Florida ball. And back to throw goes Franks. Look indeed. Got single coverage downfield. Almost caught but incomplete. Unable to hang on was Tyree Cleveland.
they show pressure. Rush 3. Hartman has plenty of time. Pass deflected and intercepted. Stanford Samuels the third gets it right back for the Seminoles. They've got it first down, goal to go at the 8.
Spoken up on social justice causes to even publicly calling out his head coach.
Strike downfield, and that is incomplete. And really, I bring that up, Greg, because it was a galvanizing moment.
Okay, so there you go. I think there was a lot of what you have predicted about him in the video. I know, ladies and gentlemen, Big Al cannot see the video, but but there were a lot of those, you know, all heart kind of plays in there, especially against Clemson, those Florida State matchups, Clemson, Florida State. He had a couple of big time pass deflections against a really prolific passing offense. So, yeah, something to look at. He could surprise a few people. Maybe you're right. He could show up on day 2 at some point, but we'll see. Okay, now we are going to move on to the TCU safety. Trevon Moehrig. This guy he just seems to be another hard-hitting safety, big guy, somebody who like belongs on the Seahawks. You know what I mean? Like just this big dude that just loves to hit people. What do you think of Trevon Moehrig?
Matt, as a safety position, he has good size that you want in in the back part of your defense. So I like his size. He doesn't have the best speed. He's not the fastest safety out there, but a lot of people compare his athleticism to Grant Deplete from LSU, former LSU, with his physicality, and they say he's a great tackler. So when I saw that he's a great tackler, I actually, one guy that popped into my mind that was in the NFL is Jabril Peppers. Like, he lined up at Michigan, linebacker and save, so I feel like this is a guy who's gonna fare really well, especially if he can play different positions and contribute with tackling.
Yeah, so TCU, first of all, in the Big 12, goes up against Texas and Oklahoma every year. So you've got some offenses like that he faced. Who's the Texas quarterback?
Sam Ellinger.
Ellinger. That was probably the best quarterback in the Big 12 that he went up against. TCU had a decent season, didn't they? Or was that Baylor? I always can't get them confused.
I
But
think they both were average.
yeah, but you also have Oklahoma, who's got a crazy good offense normally every year, and so he's got that experience to go up against the bigger teams in college football. He ended up with 30 solo tackles, 2 interceptions, and 9 pass deflections. 9 pass deflections is actually on the higher side of most of the guys that I looked up for this episode. You've got a couple with 12, but 9 is second place. I mean, you've got a couple of guys we're about to talk about, Patrick Surtain and Caleb Farley, both with 12 deflections on the year, but 9 deflections is second place. So I think he's, for a safety, that's more of a cornerback stat. So I think that for a safety, that's actually really good. So, all right. What round prediction do you think he'll go?
Matt, I'm gonna say if any safeties go in the first round, I'm gonna say late first round.
Okay.
I think with all of what we said and compared him to, I think he's definitely first round eligible.
Yeah. Okay. I think you might be right on that, but I think I'm just based off of talent. I think talent-wise, he's probably an early second round guy, but I think that safety pool this year isn't the greatest. So I think he is the best safety in the draft, but I don't think that's saying that much. So I think he's talent-wise early second round, but whoever needs a safety could be taking him in the first. So we'll see. Okay, people, let's take a look at Trevon Moehrig.
As a Cowboy with the reception. Great consistency from him. Sanders going downfield for Johnson into the end zone and knocked away at the last moment. Great recovery by Moehrig.
Oh, try to hit Braden Johnson on the corner route, and this is just outstanding coverage by Trevon Moehrig, the junior.
Sanders into the end zone in traffic, picked off, one-handed by Moehrig. Wow, what a pick by Trevon Moehrig. Wallace has been targeted 8 times, has 4 catches so far today. There it is on the receiver screen, but well dissected that time in the secondary by Merrick.
Well, that's a future pro. Watch him get up the field, diagnose the screen, and he's going to make that tackle every time.
Timeout on their side. Again. Going deep to Ezukama, who seemed to slow down. Pass is picked off. Trayvon Merrick has the interception.
Through the season.
I want to continue that conversation a little bit here. 3rd and 14, Rattler. And it's incomplete. TCU defense does their job.
West Virginia. They'll bubble it out. Winston Wright. Trayvon Merrick, one of those safeties we're talking about, who is a potential first-round draft pick. Has him for a short gain.
It's just such a great job stepping up there. That's so hard to do.
3rd down and 9. Rattler. Incomplete, was looking for his big target, Austin Stogner.
He's got one-on-one coverage underneath, though. Incomplete at midfield. Intended for Johnson.
For Texas, and TCU has been ready for it. 1st down. Here's Ellinger. On the move, and Jake Smith just couldn't haul it in.
Outside of the scoop and score, the offensive's only scored 1 touchdown today. Jackson takes it out of the end zone and pushes the ball out to the 5-yard line. They'll punt it from there.
All right. So there was Trayvon Moehrig out of TCU. Just like we thought, big guy, bruiser, looks like a Seattle Seahawk. We'll see. And you know what? Come to think of it, Seattle is looking to try and build their defense back up. This could be a late pick, first safety taken in the draft. That falls right around the 20s that the Seattle Seahawks will be picking. So that prediction could be true. We'll see.
Yeah, next Legion of Boom.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so up next we've got cornerback out of South Carolina, J.C. Horn. Okay, this is another tall, not as bulky as Trayvon, but tall guy at the corner position. So this is kind of the opposite of what we talked about with Asante Samuel Jr., where the worrisome is, are you going to put Asante up against the number 1 receivers on the other team? And with this guy, with J.C. Horn, I think he's got the size that's exactly what you do. I think he's looking to be that shutdown corner to take away that top option on the other team. What do you think about J.C. Horn?
Yeah, Matt, I think you're right. I think he does have that size and even the speed to be a very good competitor in the NFL, and I think what surprises people the most is just his energy level. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Like he plays whistle to whistle. He just doesn't give up on every play. So you want that obviously in a guy, and just I think how much if he has to recover. Like I said, he got the speed, so he's an all-out baller, and he'll fight to the very end for you. So if anybody looking for that type of work ethic, he'll give you that, and whoever he goes to.
Yeah. The crazy thing that I always had to get used to as I got older and watching football and things like that was when Denver got Champ Bailey, and he would have seasons of like 4 or 5 interceptions, which is meh. I mean, it's not like all-star Pro Bowl type stuff, but and I would always be like, man, this is Champ Bailey. Why isn't he 8-9 interceptions every year? But the biggest thing with that is that a good corner you're not going to see much of, because what you want from a corner is the opposite of Asante Samuel Sr., and you want who was a ball hawk, which is fine if you still want interceptions, but if you don't hear anything from the Champ Baileys and the Darrelle Revises of the world, it's probably because they're doing their job. And that's shutting down the number one receiver on the other side. So, as we look at corners going into the future of the NFL, I think that's probably the same. I think you kind of want to look for, on the NFL, your defense, if you're building a defense, I think you want to look for your interceptions more on a spread basis now. Get them from your safeties, get them from linebackers dropping back, get them from the other side, against the slot or against the number 2 option. But that number 1 option that you're facing each week, you pretty much want that guy to be non-existent. So, and that's exactly what Darrelle Revis did, Champ Bailey did, guys like that. So, what round prediction would you give for J.C. Horn?
Matt, I'm thinking day 2 or second or third round, just because we still got some heavier, higher name set corners to talk about, and just like with people needing linemen and quarterbacks and everything in round 1, I think he might, he's still talented, but I think he might drop to day 2 and go second, maybe third round.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the exact same thing. This is a deep corner class, but this is the 3rd best corner in the, well, in my opinion, this is the 3rd best corner in the draft this year. So the next 2 guys I think are first rounders, but this one, J.C. Horn, I think he could fall 2nd, 3rd round, just like you said. So let's take a look, huh? Let's see what J.C. Horn has in mind.
Croissants at this price? Either Lidl bakes them fresh in store, or they're listening devices paid for by the French government to spy on me during breakfast. I know you can hear me.
Bonjour. Sorry about the ad, folks.
Play clock is down to 2. Snap to Nix. Sidearms it, and it's picked off by J.C. Horn, taking it back. With a 2nd interception of the game, J.C. Horn stepping in front of Williams. Second and 10 for the Tigers. Here's Nix throwing a fade. Roberts. Incomplete. J.C. Horn doing a heck of a job. It is really hard to keep Williams when he gets his hands near the ball from knocking it away. On 3rd and 11, Nix in trouble. Escapes. Now Nix throws into traffic, and it's intercepted. There's J.C. Horn again making a play. I mean, he's been all over Seth Williams throughout the day, and he gets a huge pick here.
With the ball in his hands and a capable pass catcher coming out of the backfield.
Nix going back to the air, looking for Roberts here. Knocked up into the air and incomplete. J.C. Horn, good coverage on Williams. Nix from the pocket, throws, knocked away by Horn, incomplete. Going again for Williams. Pass appeared to be a little behind Seth Williams. Just outside the 10-yard line, Nix fires, broken up by J.C. Horn, incomplete.
Struggled the last 2 games is turning the football over in the red zone. Can they be better here?
Seals lost it up in the end zone. That one was almost picked off. J.C. Horn. 3rd down and 5. Nix from empty. Moving around. Flips it into traffic again, and it's picked off again. Intercepted by Jalen Dickerson. Really good so far. Yeah, the one mistake by Nix on the interception. Gets rid of the pass here and dropped at the 20-yard line. Eli Stove tackled by J.C. Horn.
Okay. So there was J.C. Horn. Okay, so up next, we're going to go with Virginia Tech's Caleb Fairley. Just another, this guy is, some saying the best corner in the draft. Could be potentially, I mean, this is high in my opinion, potentially a top 10 pick. There's one team, and it's actually probably my Denver Broncos, who could be looking at corner in the first pick of their draft, which is number 9. So I think if the Broncos don't pick him, then he won't go 10, and he'll probably fall in the teens somewhere. But it's either this guy or the other guy, and we'll get to the other guy next. So, Big Al, what do you think of Caleb Fairley?
Well, to be fair, Matthew.
Oh, jeez.
There's another team that could, in the top 10, that could be looking for a corner. And that's the team right after you in my Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah. And, I mean, that's a fair option considering 2 of our guys are under contract issues and could become free agents. So, yeah, a shutdown corner like this guy, size, speed, everything with Caleb, I think it's hard to pick, but I think he will be the first corner selected over the other guy. Just based off of physicality, and I think he has a little bit more physicality than the other guy, but I definitely can see him going at least top 10 to 15 in the draft, and just competing against the teams that he has to as well makes him that way, and I feel confident about that.
Okay. I don't think he's better than the other guy, but your face. But I do think he's a first-round pick, definitely. I think there's going to be teams in the late teens or early 20s, or maybe mid-teens. Anywhere in that category, 10 to 25 or so, I think he could go. So, yeah, we'll see. So you definitely think he's a first rounder? That's your prediction?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at Caleb Farley.
He brings a workman mentality every day like I have never seen before.
Oh, yeah. Graham throwing from his end zone. It's intercepted. Caleb Farley thinking 6. Touchdown for that Bud Foster defense, and it's Farley with a pick 6, 17-yard return.
Well, to hear the Virginia Tech people talk about Caleb Farley, they say he might be the best athlete on the team.
Taking a shot deep into the end zone. Picked off again, this time by Farley. He tried to hit D. Wiggins and was intercepted for the second time already.
Some young guys, but look for these tight ends to make big plays in this game. They love their 4 starting tight ends.
Brown tried to hook up with White down the right side, could not. Defended nicely that time by Caleb Farley.
He's 6'3". N'Kosi Perry comes the other way into the end zone and picked off for the 4th time today. Farley stings them again. Granger cuts it loose, looking for Gordon, and intercepted. Caleb Farley.
Mentioned that last drive, he was the 6th pick of the year back at the helm. Looking to go to Claude, and he was by Caleb Farley very well.
Foster started back in 1995. Really is an honor that these guys feel being carried all week.
Has his receiver leave, he just couldn't hang on to it.
If you're going to call that hold, because those guys are used to grabbing on those jerseys like that.
Late in the first quarter, Howell across the field and incomplete. Caleb Farley came over to defend it against Antoine Green.
Priori goes downfield into traffic, broken up. Caleb Farley was there to get it away from Isaiah Coulter.
Good job by the freshman to stand in there knowing he's going to take the shot.
5 different receivers utilized by Howell. He's got a little bit of time. Incomplete. Looking for Corrales.
All right. So there was Farley. One thing I noticed just from watching a few of those was great hands. So not just catching the ball, but like getting his hands in traffic and breaking up passes and things like that. He was really good at that. So we'll see. Definitely first round pick. And okay, so now we move on to the factory of NFL players, and that is Alabama. And their next big one, cornerback Patrick Surtain II. Let's just go with Patrick Surtain. This one is I think there's actually a really good chance Denver takes this guy in pick 9. It could be Patrick Surtain or Micah Parsons or trade back. I think that's what Denver's probably going to do. So, what are you thinking about Patrick Surtain?
Matt, I think he's like that X Factor type of guy, right up there with Farley, but you know, I don't think he has as much speed as Caleb, but like the size is still there. You know, he's competing in the SEC, and you know, he's a fighter too. Like, you know, there's a reason why they don't throw to his side very often this past year, and that's because he covers really well, and I think just playing under Nick Saban, you know, when you go, you know those guys are good when, you know, they get the recruits in and all that. So playing under Saban, you know you have a good player on your hands. So people better watch out for him.
And this is you also have a first round grade for him?
Yes, I do. If as you mentioned with Caleb, I'd say between 10 and 25 as well, but definitely first rounder.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at the final of the 5 picks from Gamer Time podcast. Patrick Surtain.
It definitely will. Rodgers, risky throw, picked off by Patrick Surtain, and they will cross the 35-point threshold with a defensive score.
Lane in motion, give it off. No, it's nice play fake, and they're going to the same guy, and it's the same result.
I'll tell you, they should have given that one off. I know it wasn't a read. It was a play-action pass, but that's the one time it looked like something opened up front.
And Surtain did a really nice job on the back end for Alabama defensively.
7 yards, got about 5:30 now after that last carry. Second down, 7, quick swing pass out. Well, form tackle out there at the 10-yard line on Seth Williams by Patrick Surtain.
They fake it to him, and he's trying that left side again, overshot completely.
And boom, he gets...
That was Surtain.
Surtain, it was, you're right, it was Surtain. Still a ball game going into halftime. Can't make a critical mistake here.
Garantano going deep near sideline. Nice play by Surtain to break it up on a pass intended for Josh Palmer.
Do like the call, because even if it's a pickoff, it happens way down the other side of the field. Late.
Nice gain to the 40.
Play action. Finley off his back foot, fires, and it's knocked down by Surtain, intended for Boutte. Now Tennessee trying to put a drive together here. Open up the second quarter. Garantano going deep sideline. Just broken up by Surtain at the goal line, or it might have been a touchdown. Trask, pressure from behind. He got rid of it, but it's broken up. And Patrick Surtain breaks it up. Jamie?
It was a 10-yard gain. Now some running room outside for Chris Tyree, and another excellent tackle. Patrick Surtain.
You play Darnell Wright, tries to do it, but can't finish it.
About 3 batted passes against Georgia last week. Surtain with a form tackle at the 32-yard line after the completion. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 for Tennessee. Waiting on Rackard's kick. Kadarius Toney camps under it at the 4. He is dangerous, and he's already in the open field, but a good open field tackle brings him down at the 28-yard line. Patrick Surtain on the special teams makes a nice open field tackle. And he's going to throw in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, George Pickens. Pretty good coverage right there on Pickens.
All right, so there was Patrick Surtain of Alabama. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Next week, we will continue our NFL draft preview from Gamer Time shows with the next position category, which is the linebackers. I already know who my number 1 is, but yes, we will have another top 5 for you to sink your teeth into. But everybody, I appreciate you guys for checking this one out. This is a new one that we're trying, and so far we're having a good time doing this. So yeah, Big Al.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, and thanks, folks. We just want to continue with, all you football fans out there. After the season was over, what are we gonna talk about now? Well, we're still talking football for you, so we'll get you ready for next year. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.